back to my show. I'm feeling better yesterday. I didn't quite make it. I lost it. So I'm back. I'm afraid our white coffee is a little bit darker than last time. So it's tastier, but just a tiny bit weaker. We'll see. We'll see if you guys see the same thing. I finally got my Fios. Super excited. Kate, how you doing? Good morning. I hope all of your orders are correct. I know I messed them up in the past. I got another 4 or 5 corrections going out, and I'm making myself some white coffee right now. Just wanted to show you this. The key to the pour over is going from outside in because the grounds tend to kind of collect along the outside edge. So you just want to pour those back in, and that's really all you need. That's the only thing you want to do. And keep the grounds wet. So you see how they're degassing? A little bit. I definitely had somewhat something of a caffeine hangover, definitely. So this batch of white that you guys are getting, just a tiny bit darker than I wanted it, but still really strong. So what that means practically, it's a little bit sweeter, a little bit closer to coffee, but you guys will probably like it better actually. I hope. If not, let me know. Um, it could be. I don't know. I'm not supposed to have that on here. I relapsed. Yeah, it's in the garbage can now. You're not supposed to have any vapes close to it's legal. You're not supposed to have any vapes near your products. Luckily, we're not anywhere near my products, but sorry, guys, I screwed up. I'm screwing up. I'm falling apart. I don't. I only drink it right when I get up. So this is gonna be my first cup. I haven't had any coffee yet. I haven't had any coffee yet. Not white. It's like me. It's more of a light brown. All right, guys. So if you guys just joined me today, my name is Ed. I'm coming at you live from Hawaii. I got some Mac nuts, although I haven't listed it yet. I do. This is not my Mac nuts though, but I found some. These are pricey Mac nuts. These are going to be $20 for 6.7 ounces of Mac nuts, but they're covered in Hawaiian chocolate. Seems like you get little hearts. So nice. They are good. But this little box is gonna be $20. 6.7 grams of Mac nuts for $20. I don't know. Ever since my wife moved to town, I only got to see my daughter for 3 to 4 hours a day. Whereas before, I would see her from 7. I would be in charge, not just see her. I would be in charge of my daughter from 7 a.m. to um. I'd be in charge of my daughter from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that was a 8-hour day, and then I'd see my daughter another 4 hours at night. So I was wondering, why do I miss her so much? So I know now. So I'm trying to figure out how to see her longer in the day because she must miss me too. All right, so we have chocolate covered magnets. They are really good, really fresh, but they're $20. Hawaiian chocolate has gone crazy. It's gone crazy. And I have exactly 23 of these, but I can't give any sales. I have to charge you 20 bucks. Is it worth it? That's what you're gonna pay everywhere. All right. So we got the chocolate covered mac nuts today. They are milk chocolate covered Hawaiian sea salt chocolate Hawaiian mac nuts. You live in Philly. I feel like we'll see. My daughter's only 3. She's only 3, and she started school. They're already taking her away from me. They're already taking her. Already taking her away. All right, mac nuts. We got medium pea berry today. We got some light Hawaiian. So if you guys are just joining me for the first time, we're coming at you live from Hawaii. We're coming to you live from the Big Island of Hawaii, where we have an active volcano here, and this volcano makes it the ideal climate for growing coffee, mainly because of the micronutrients, and then also our island weather. Coffee really likes it where you have 50% shade. And when you're on the leeward side of the island, you get the leeward island weather where half the day is clear, half the day is rainy. And that's actually a really good, that's the ideal climate for coffee. And the reason why you get that island weather is when you're next to the ocean, right? During the mornings, the ocean is cooler than the land, so the all of the moisture evaporates off the land, coalesces over the ocean, and the ocean starts getting cloudy while the land it becomes clear. Then as the day progresses, the ocean heats up. Then as the sun goes down, the land cools down, the ocean is hot, and you have precipitation coming off the ocean and coalescing on the land because the land is cooler. Right? So now during the afternoons and the evenings, it's always going to rain, whereas during the mornings, it's going to be clear. And so that cycle happens throughout the year, no matter whether it's summer or winter. And that is what makes our climate unique for growing coffee. Hey, I said, and so that is why the climate is ideal for growing coffee. In addition to having that ideal climate, though, it really comes down to the picking. So most of the world's coffee is picked with a machine. And when you pick coffee with a machine, something like 20% of the beans are going to be unripe. And unripe coffee tastes like an unripe banana or an unripe strawberry. It's actually going to be very sour, very bitter. And that's where the sourness and bitterness in your coffee comes from. Typical light roasts are usually too sour to drink. They usually taste like almost like a lemon water. And they call that citrusy. But in reality, I don't know if it's really citrus. It tastes more like lemon juice. So most light roasts are a little bit too hard to drink. It gives a lot of people acid reflux. It's just very acidic. Whereas our light roast has almost no acidity at all. So you can really taste what we call the flavors of the region. And what that comes out to for us is you get these very nice notes of raisins, I would say maple syrup, tiny, tiny bit of tanginess, but really almost like the tanginess of a raisin. So really almost no tanginess at all, and that makes our light roast unique. A lot of people who really don't like light roasts will try our light roast and tell us this is the best light roast I've ever had. A lot of people who don't drink light roast like our light roast, and vice versa. People who don't drink the dark roast often like the dark roast because our dark roast isn't bitter and our light roast isn't sour. So you can get that richness, that that rich, bold flavor of coffee that a lot of people like in their darker roasts, and but you're getting it without the bitterness. So the bitterness again in coffee comes from the fact that coffee is actually a fruit that grows on trees, and like any fruit, if you pick it too early, it's going to be sour and bitter no matter how large you got that fruit to grow. Our coffee beans do grow quite a bit larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. So when you see our beans, you will notice they do, at first sight, first glance, even the Hawaiian beans look quite a bit larger than probably the beans you guys are buying in the store. There's a wider range of bean sizes in the Hawaiian, but even these beans probably on a you know very different quality level than the beans you guys used to trying. These 2 ounce samples make 4 8-ounce cups of coffee. Here's a dark roast if you want a 2 ounce of the dark roast. We do bundle shipping, so 9.21 is the maximum shipping you're going to pay on the show until the new shipping comes into effect. The dark roast tastes like a dark chocolate caramel. It's relatively light. Hey, Lindsay, look relatively light for a darker roast. So doesn't have the oil on it really. I would say a lot of people would consider this more a medium roast or a medium dark. And we once in a while we have a true dark where the coffee is has that sheen of oil on it, but this dark roast does not. And we don't need to roast our coffee as dark for the reason that we don't have that bitterness. And we don't have any mold. Our coffee is extremely fresh. We keep our coffee in the shell, which is something you never see in the US. We keep our coffee in the shell until we need it, until we need to roast it. Whereas everywhere else in the world, when you import the coffee has to be shelled. And this shell keeps the coffee fresh. It keeps it completely mold free. It keeps it alive. You can actually plant that coffee and in the shell. So what is that oil? It's coffee oil. It basically, when you roast it so dark, the oils reach a temperature. It's almost like how water condenses on your windshield after your car is a certain temperature. That heat on the bean evaporates the oil, and then when you cool it down quickly, all the oil coalesces on the surface after a certain temperature, and that's why there's oil on the darker roasts. And those oils get more as the coffee gets older, but it's really more of a function. Hey, Dark Side, how you doing? Surfing the Cosmos never came back. I think the fact that I canceled his free coffees broke my relationship with him. So that's our dark Hawaiian, and then we do have a medium Hawaiian. The medium Hawaiian and the Hawaiian grade coffee is like the first grade that I would suggest you try, unless you're just here to get the best, the highest, most expensive coffee. The Hawaiian coffee is like 75-80% is good. Light LR when it comes. No, they're gonna be both the same. We just ran out of bags last week, so we had to start using the brown bags that we had left. We have more white bags now, but we just ran out. But LR, I don't know what LR means. There's gotta mean something else. Light HLH, light Hawaiian, probably. LH is probably what it is. And so we have this medium Hawaiian here. The medium Hawaiian is roasted to 250, 300, I'm sorry, 425 degrees. And it comes out almost like a raisinette. Very sweet. Here's a $1 start on it. Maybe 30% darker than, I mean, 30%, I'm sorry, maybe 20% stronger than your dark roast. And these will make you, that's nutty. So, yeah, few. So this coffee is nutty, which is good. One more of these mediums. Also make you two 8-ounce cups of coffee. You get some of the fruitiness of the region. That's why you want to, when you drink specialty coffees like ours, and this is a specialty single origin coffee, hand picked, very different than what you guys are buying in the stores. When you drink a specialty coffee like ours, they do say, and who are they? The the coffee tasting experts say that um, you should start with the lighter roast. Medium is the first one where you can actually taste the flavor of the region, is what we call it, and that translates into a fruitiness. With this dark roast, you don't really get any of the fruitiness. You do get the nuttiness, the boldness, that nice caramel flavor, but all the fruitiness and nuttiness has been roasted away. So I would say, since you're getting samplers, definitely worth getting one of each. They are very different in flavor and also different than what you'd expect because of that lack of sourness and bitterness. So, um, that means you should definitely try each one because you may be surprised which ones you like. If you want a 12-ounce bag, we do those for 26 to 29 depending on the day, and then sometimes we'll do some three pounders. This 12-ounce bag will make you 24 to 36 cups of coffee. They say you should do a 1 to 16 ratio. 1 to 16. 1 ounce coffee, 16 ounces water for the sort of the ideal strength. I often use, in practice, I use way more than that, but that's just me because yeah, but you don't need to. It doesn't really help. If you use more coffee than you need to, the coffee just turns bitter. So having that ideal amount of coffee will reduce some of the bitterness that you may get in your coffee. How did the white affect you, Anna? Did it have noticeable effects? So that was my large bag of the dark. Let me do a large bag in the medium, or medium bag, a full bag of the medium Hawaiian, 12-ounce. White coffee weekends, awesome. The white coffee's strong. You definitely want to be cautious. Jules, I just sent out another one from the 21. We had about, I think it was like 10 people that I think I didn't do. You know how you got to print out 50 or 100, and I think I printed out 50, and then 50 to 60 didn't get printed, and I'm sorry. So we're working on that. That should be sent out hopefully today or tomorrow. Um, I gotta go a little bit earlier today. Here's a light roast. Thanks, I appreciate that. Here's a Hawaiian light medium here. I got 2 cases of those Mac nuts. I know I'm gonna end up having to clear them out. It's too expensive. All right, so those are my larger bags. We just went through the Hawaiian coffee. The next set we're gonna go through, Julianne New. That's not you. Julian New. You're having the medium Hawaiian. There you are. How do you like the medium Hawaiian? I always tell people to start with the medium because you could drink that every day and it's gonna be way better than anything you're already trying. You don't need to get hooked on the crazy big beans. But once you do get hooked on the big beans, like the extra fancy, then you're just, at least me, I'm kind of like, I don't know about drinking anything else. I only want to drink the extra fancy. So, and the extra fancy, I've been doing these for 25, which is just about 60 bucks a pound. So, it looks like the economy is starting to affect coffee prices in a beneficial way for you guys. 1 cup a day. That's what I do. 1 cup a day is enough for me. If I drink more than that, and this is a 6-ounce bag of our dark extra fancy. This is the dark extra fancy here. So let me show you the actual beans, and I'll do some smaller bags of these too. But a dark extra fancy bean, pretty much every bean is nice. Every bean is perfect. These are the big beans. You can't really, you look at these beans when I first show you them. It's hard to really get a feel for the scale of how big these beans are. And this is even one of the biggest ones, but it is up there. 30-ounce cups. Those are like this, right? Nice and big cup. So now take a look. Ready? Boom. This is the extra fancy bean. This is your regular bean. When you put them side by side, and not only that, take a look at, I don't know if you can see, like, do you see how the rim of that just isn't perfect? Whereas this is just, yeah, all around. It's a perfectly formed bean. The actual profile very similar, right? You have the same notes because it's coming off the same trees. The extra fancy bean will be smoother. Um, any remaining bitterness is gone comparatively, even though they're both almost have no bitterness at all. Um, but it comes down to the smoothness, almost like a butteriness in the extra fancy. But extra fancy just tastes like, I don't know, it's like the difference between whole milk and skim milk. I think that really kind of sums it up. So the extra fancy dark roast is obviously the whole milk, maybe even like half and half. It's cream, whereas the Hawaiian is just not quite skim milk, but you kind of that gives you that idea. It's really a texture difference, a richness difference. It's not that drastic, but it's that kind of gives you idea of what you're looking for. Yeah, the actual coffee tastes the same, but the texture is very, very different. And it's worth trying. It is double the price, but it's the top. I would say it's the top 1 to 5% beans, depending on who you are and where you're farming. They're the biggest beans that we grow. They're not, and they're actually the biggest beans in the world. Beans do not grow this large anywhere else in the world. So the extra fancy beans are just the biggest beans imaginable. The beans do not grow that large anywhere else in the world. Let me just run one more of these for you. If you guys are interested in getting these, definitely worth trying. This 6-ounce bag makes you 12 to 18 cups of coffee, which is about a $60 a pound price, which is low average. So it's not like you're getting a super discount on them, but it is on the low average side, and you're getting smaller bags than normal. And so it is our highest grade of coffee. What else is next? So we have our extra fancy dark. We also have a white extra fancy, which is roasted a little bit darker than the previous white, just a touch. So it's a little bit sweeter, a little bit more like coffee, less pea corn flavor, but still quite a bit lighter than the light, and still gives you a very strong buzz. You feel it in your joints. Yesterday, I posted a lot of research. Hopefully, you guys didn't miss it. I may do that again about the one of the compounds in the coffee. It's only a small percentage. One of the many compounds that um, you get in your coffee that's worth knowing about, which is trigonylane. What am I doing here? But we're gonna let's do some of the extra fancy dark in the 2 ounces, and then we also have an extra fancy medium, which is the one that some people would recommend for their espresso. All right, here's an extra fancy dark, and again, this is if I retailed these individually, minimum they should be 10 or 12, probably $12 each. So So if I can't get these above 8, I can only run one of them. But this is a 2-ounce sample. 2 ounces about this spot little cup filled to the top, and you're getting, look at those amazing beans. Really the best top 1% beans in the world. Beans actually don't grow this large anywhere else in the world, and so uh, and these are also milled out, so less than 1% of the beans have any defects in them. A defective bean, a little bit chip, um, a crack in the bean, those will end up white Hawaiian. Tell me what you think about the white Hawaiian. I'll do one more of these extra fancies. Um, these are state inspected to have less than 1% defects, so all the beans are just clean and uniform in size. They any beans that even have a little chip in it are removed, and that makes it so the beans are all uniformly dense, uniformly big, and then when you go to roast them, you get this, it keeps the coffee even smoother. Um, that uniformity makes it so all the beans stay exactly the same temperature. So that's another reason why it stays buttery. When you have all different sizes, some of the beans will lose more of their oils, and other beans will not lose as many oils. All right, $6, a little bit low, so I'll run one more. If we don't get to 8, this will be my last 2-ounce sample of the dark. We'll move on to the medium next. So extra fancy beans, if you haven't tried them, they are the largest, the sweetest, the most flavorful, the nuttiest coffee we have. All right, Doug, you got 2 bags, 2 of those for cheap, or pretty cheap. So move on to the next one. So we did that extra fancy dark. Let's do an extra fancy medium. Extra fancy medium is gonna be the, same thing, biggest beans that we have, but roasted to a medium roast. When you roast the extra fancy beans lighter, that's why we also do the white coffee and extra fancy. When you roast those beans lighter, they um, you retain some nuttiness to it. So you get more of these subtle Nutella flavors in the coffee. I don't know if I have it. Extra fancy. Here we go. Extra fancy medium. So you get these subtle Nutella flavors in the coffee. You get the raisin, almost like a raisinette, but it's a chocolatey, nutty chocolate, like a Nutella. Caramel kettle corn. Coffee also smells like a sweet dough when you fry it, when you go to cook it. So there is this sweet dough flavor to it. And here's my extra fancy medium. Having a medium roast Kona. I do Bing. I'm doing the 8-ounce Kona for 21 for 8 ounces right now, which is really good. Hey Salmon, I missed a set of purchases, about 10 orders from the 21st. Those are going out. Most of those are going out today. I'm sorry for that delay. We just reprinted them yesterday. So if you were part of that group, today and Monday you're gonna see that updated. I apologize for that. This is our medium extra fancy. Usually we ship within 2 days, but we've been having some here and there. We have some logistic issues. This is our 6-ounce medium extra fancy, and this one will give you a really nice, smooth Nutella feeling. People say this one's the best one for espresso. So if you love, you know, if you want a complex, sweet but fruity, flo- not floral but fruitier, brighter espresso, something more complex than just this bitter, rich, you know, caramel coffee, I would say the medium extra fancy is the way to go. And you're getting 6 ounces for 25, which is about what, $60 a pound. I don't know if I even have medium extra fancy. I better not run this. So this will be my last medium extra fancy here. I'm not even sure if I have it. I think I have a little tiny bit of it, but not quite enough. So we're gonna move on to the next item. The coffee goes really well with those mac nuts, but the mac nuts are 20 bucks. So if you guys want some chocolate covered mac nuts, these are 20 bucks. They're packaged, and these are the chocolate covered mac nuts. They have a little heart shape to them. Still early, 6 a.m. for me. And so finally got some chocolate covered mac nuts. These are 7 ounces of them for 20 bucks. These are like high grade gourmet mac nuts. This isn't the mac nuts you find in the stores, but fortunately, I don't have the cheap ones for you. Okay. All right. So we did a. Let's do a sample of the medium extra fancy here. Here's a sample of the medium extra fancy. If you guys want to try a 2 ounce sampler, I don't have them here to show you, but they are, this in medium. And so extra fancy beans are 19 screen or above. So that's 19/64 of an inch. 1 to 5% of our coffee comes out as extra fancy. So these are the top 1% largest beans that we have. Larger bean usually will be even less jittery, even though our coffee almost doesn't have any jitters. If you can drink 4 cups of our Hawaiian without feeling any jitters, you probably drink 8 cups of the extra fancy without feeling any jitters. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm really sorry for the delay, Salmon. So that that I screwed up. Mm. So this is our extra fancy medium, the largest beans in the world, roasted to a lighter roast. So it's got this nuttiness to it, a little bit sweeter, kind of like a caramel nuttiness. That in your medium Hawaiian, it's just kind of a chocolate covered raisin with brown sugar. Whereas, when with the medium extra fancy, there is this caramel nuttiness to it, an additional caramel nuttiness. So really unique in that respect. Um, so the nibs are really good. Nibs are good to just snack on. I eat those whenever I start getting hungry by the middle of my show. Just pure chocolate nuttiness. It's a nutty chocolate, nutty dark chocolate. No additives, so you can just snack on. It does fill you up, kind of like a chocolate. Lots of fiber, really good stuff. All right, that's my extra fancy medium. Someone asked if I had a 100% Kona estate. I do have an estate Kona, which mixes the top 4 grades of Kona coffee, and that one I'm doing special for 21 for 8 ounces. So that is a $42 a pound price for your 100% Kona coffee. Go online, look it up. Definitely cheaper than anything that you can reliably call Kona. Sometimes I'm seeing these 100% Hawaiian Kona. That throws up red flags. If someone doesn't say 100% Kona and it's on the packaging, we're not writing anything on our packaging, but when we sell it, we clearly say 100% Kona. If it doesn't say 100% Kona, like our Hawaiian grade says 100% Hawaiian, it means it's not Kona coffee. Even if it's grown in Kona, if it tastes like Kona, it's still not Kona coffee. Kona coffee standards are extremely high. And so when you see someone label it, if it doesn't have 100% Kona on it, it's probably not 100% Kona. And that's how they're playing around with the price a little bit. Anyway, so this is a 8 ounce dark. The dark also a Kona grade, which means it's been state inspected to have less than 1% defects. If it says 20% Kona, it's a blend. They're taking Kona coffee, which is costing them 30, 40 bucks a pound, and then they're mixing it with coffee that costs them 5 bucks a pound, and that'll average out to like 10 bucks a pound, and then they can sell it for something cheap. So once you've blended the coffee, you're probably using old beans. I don't know. I don't know. I've never met a blender that's like dealing in high quality coffees. They're always dealing in cheap coffee. So it's possible to blend a really good coffee. but I haven't seen people doing it with Kona. So I would probably not waste my money buying blends. From what it seems like to me is the blends are here so that local people can pay $12 for a bag of coffee. They don't need to, and otherwise they'd be paying $30 for a bag of coffee, and people need to drink coffee like locally. All right, last extra fancy item we have is our extra fancy white. I'm a little bit more organized today. Yesterday I had a little bit of a mental breakdown. Today I'm a little bit better. Extra fancy white. I'm gonna start this at $10 here. I better just start it a little bit lower. Let's start at $8. Email me later. What do you sell? Email me later. And this is our. And I don't know if you ever got to drink our. I remember you got our coffee a long time ago, but you didn't have a grinder or something, and you ground it into a powder. I don't know if you ever got to try the coffee after that, but you did get the McNuts, which you don't have. But I do have these chocolate covered McNuts, but they're pricey. They're $20 for 7 ounces. It's like branded, so I have no choice. So if you do want this, but they do taste like, the chocolate is like luxury. So it's like smooth and velvety, and they're shaped in little hearts. That's right. If you pre-grind the coffee, you can't see it. If you can't see, if you can't see the coffee beans that you're bidding on, then I can take my off grade and throw it in there. You wouldn't know, as long as it tastes okay. So here's a bag of our extra fancy white. The white coffee tastes a little bit nutty. Um, has a little bit of like a beany taste to it, so it's kind of vegetable. This batch of white was just a little bit darker than our previous one, but still gives you that really strong buzz. Here's a 30-second sudden death. I moved out to Hawaii in 2014 and was getting into agriculture. I was like an environmental engineer. So I studied agriculture, got into coffee. Never drank coffee until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm pretty new to coffee. Um, but the more I learn about it, my wife was always into coffee. This needs to be more than $5 if you guys want me to run another one. I started at $5. The more I learn about coffee, the more I drink. Now I'm drinking it all the time because I've learned that coffee actually makes you live longer. It makes you feel better while you're alive. All sorts of good stuff. Trigonelline. You guys got to look up trigonelline. I was sending you guys this article, and I'm going to send it to you again because everyone needs to know about trigonelline. It's freaking amazing. Trigonelline is the alkaloid in coffee that's highly concentrated in. It's highly concentrated in. Um, I've been not telling as many stories because I feel like I told you guys too much. I was reflecting on my stories, and my stories don't shouldn't be told. There's a reason why I didn't tell anyone those stories. How do you make yours? I make mine with a pour over. So also improves muscle function. NAD. NAD is amazing. I mean, trigonelline is freaking amazing. It's probably the thing in coffee. Yeah, Iron Sword. And I didn't even get started. I sort of just buried all those memories. The last 15 years have been a blur. I know a lot of bad things happened. Should have never. Should have never. Okay, so here's another article about trigonylene that is that is was in Nature. It's about muscle strength. So if you're a bodybuilder, you work out, you want to recover faster, trigonylene actually improves muscle function, grip strength. People who take trigonylene supplements, which this is not a supplement, this is just one of the compounds in coffee. People who take trigonylene have increased grip strength. Like, yeah, so if you feel your when you shake people's hands and they just crush your hand fingers and you just feel like a little boy when they do that to you, this extra fancy Kona White may fix that. You do have to grind them and put them in a pour over, or you may have to buy a machine. Yeah, if you're drinking instant coffee, you do have to get one of these pour overs, V60 with a filter, and then you got to grind it. So it's going to be a little bit different for you. Maybe a French press might be the easiest way to do it. Just buy one of those French press, grind it, put it in the French press, and steep it. You can also do that, salmon. You guys are getting the white coffee for 56 bucks a pound. It's So that's one thing. Trigonally improves muscle function. NAD plus. A lot of people who are into supplements have been doing NAD plus, right? And it turns out coffee is better at boosting your NAD levels than virtually any shots or anything like that, especially when it's in the lightest form. So there's nothing better for you. I used to be against coffee. I used to think coffee, there was something bad about coffee. I used to think, anytime my wife drank coffee, I'd start getting getting a stick up my butt, being like, "Oh, you shouldn't drink coffee. Coffee's no good for you." This is why. This is why it all comes back to you. You know, when you're, if you, I don't want to talk about it. Everything in moderation. Definitely, you don't want to drink too much. Then you'll get unstable. But it's really good in moderation. It's vitamin B3, methylated vitamin B3. I'll do one more of these. $6 is too low, so I'll do one more of these and then we'll move on to our next item. But this is our extra fancy white. Best, strongest coffee. Really good for you. Lots of research on that underlying compound, trigonylene. And let me see. I'm starting to gain in research, I guess, is what they're saying. It's starting to gain a following in research, but people don't really talk about trigonylene. Everyone talks about the caffeine in coffee, but no one talks about trigonylene. Maybe because in a dark roast, most of that trigonylene has been roasted away. But when you roast it light like we do, it's uh, it's powerful. It's it's almost like a miracle drug, but I'm not going to tell you what it does. I really don't know. You got to look into it yourself. But there it is. All right, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? How about some? So I did the white extra fancy. How about some medium Kona estate? So the estate coffee almost as good as the extra fancy, and this is I got 8 ounces on sale right now. I can do some nibs. Adamus. I saw you were. What do you sell, Adamus? You're in the tea and coffee category too, right? I think I saw that. Nice. I saw you did well the other day. All right. So we got medium Kona. Let's do some 2 ounces of the Kona. How about that? Here's a 2 ounce sample of our medium Kona. Also, almost as good. Congratulations. Almost as good um as the extra fancy. Really good for espresso. This is 2 ounce of our Kona Estate. The Estate coffee, $60 a pound. So this should be 7 or 8 bucks here. Hopefully you guys can. I'm gonna up it. Hey, Death Stores. I'm better now. I was not doing great the other day, but I'm better again. All right, I'm gonna start this at 5. So this is our medium Kona coffee. 100% Kona. Look up Kona coffee. ChatGPT it. You'll see the price range. We usually sell this for 60, or I think it's up to $72 a pound without any discounts. Hey, Reaper Manova, how's it going? Hard to go back, except it's more expensive, but it's also extremely fresh. So the other thing I kind of feel bad warning people about it, but when you buy the pre-packaged coffees that you guys are buying, and you see a Best By date, if you see Best By, let's say July 2026, that means it was roasted as early as January 2025. Probably the latest it was roasted was July 2025. So if you see the Best By date is July 2026, probably it was roasted between 12 and 18 months ago. Whereas this coffee was roasted about a week ago. And so hopefully you guys will keep that in mind. Like that's that's part of the reason why my logistics is so messed up and I'm not offering, multi packs, because everything I have is less than a week old. And at most a week old. And so that makes a huge difference. The coffee you guys are buying from the other, I don't want to compare, but the commercial coffees you guys are buying, that's like part of the reason why it's cheap is because it's like 12 months, 17 months old. It was it was roasted, definitely. The white coffee was roasted, Dave. I hope. There is a green coffee that is not roasted. If you ordered the green coffee, it was not. Oh, roasted how long ago? That was roasted. I think it was roasted last Saturday, and I sent it out like Tuesday or Wednesday. So super fresh. And the white coffee um can be rested for up to 2 months. So the lighter roast, they even tell people you can rest this for 2 months. It actually gets sweeter and nuttier as you let it sit. When it first comes out, the white coffee is going to be, you know, a little bit more like a light, and then as it sits, it becomes nuttier. And so the white coffee you guys just got was like roasted last Saturday. So it doesn't get any fresher than our coffee, and coffee is like a baked good. You like the white coffee? Great. Yeah, the white coffee is good stuff. I can't not drink the white coffee anymore. Regular coffee machine is fine. And making a different way is also fine, but I've been doing my coffee with coffee machines lately, and this coffee comes out maybe the sweetest with the coffee machine, even sweeter than your pour over. So I've been doing this with the coffee machine. All right, I'm gonna run another at 5, but then I'm gonna tick it up to 6 because $6 is really what I need to get for these. I'm giving you guys a few samples at 5, but actually $6 is what I need to get for them. This is our estate on Poppin. Thank you for that raid. Amazing raid. Thank you guys. I'm doing a giveaway here. 2 ounce medium Hawaiian coffee. I got 2 ounce samples here of our estate, which is 100% Kona coffee. I'm doing these full bags for 21 if you guys want to get a 8-ounce bag for 21. Otherwise, I'm doing these 2 ounces, taking these up to $6 a piece. This is 100% Kona coffee, single origin, all hand picked and just roasted. Like this batch was just roasted 7 days ago. So a lot of our coffees, like our dark and our light, was roasted yesterday, and this morning is being roasted right now. And then our Kona is being roasted, or the medium estate and the dark estate was roasted about a week ago now, and those are on sale for 21 for 12 ounces here. So if you guys want 12 ounce, I mean for 8 ounces, I'm sorry, 8 ounces for 21 for $42 a pound. Yeah, Islander, I must have gotten. I think you sent me a separate address, and I've been sending it there, and obviously it's the wrong one. So I'll double check for you. 8 ounce, 8 ounce of the medium, and then I got an 8 ounce of the dark. I also have some medium pea berry. Let's go on to the pea berry. So pea berry is a mutation in the coffee bean that happens at the tips of the trees. So it's less than 1% of our coffee, and there's a different bean. It's a denser bean, and people are charging me 56 bucks. 56 bucks for 7 ounces here. This is our pea berry. Really hard to see, but the pea berry beans are dense. They're like these little pebbles. And so they only form at the tips of the trees when one of the beans takes over the entire fruit. And so they're a little bit smoother. They taste like a buttery, what's it called? A buttery GLP-1, I think. Definitely this would help. Or you probably already know about GLP. If you like espresso, the pea berry is dense, buttery, and smooth. No bitterness. A little bit less, really good for espresso, especially the medium. You get that fruitiness that you don't maybe find in some other espressos. And that's our medium pea berry. I also have a dark pea berry. Let me run that. I got an 8-ounce bag of the dark pea berry. I'll do that for 35. So that's 70 bucks a pound. This is the farm. So I'm at the farm, and yeah, so we don't have walls at the farm, which my wife hates. She says it's not livable. She can't she's a city girl. She cannot handle this. It's sad though, cuz now our daughter's living in town, where she spent her first 2 years out here. Flap Caliph, I got that Maui Wowie. Appreciate appreciate that. Can't wait to try it. Haven't tried it yet, but I did get that. And I'm going to run a dark Hawaiian, and then I'm going to go back and do a dark pea berry, and then I'll go back and do our Hawaiian coffee, which is the best value of all our coffees. But if you guys are just joining me, we're coming live from Rooster Farms on the Big Island of Hawaii. We're a Kona coffee farm. I've been farming Kona coffee for 12 years, 13 years now. And it sounds like a great idea to live here until you actually do live here, and then you're spending all day taking the trash out and weed whacking. I have about 2,500 trees. You guys are bidding on 2 ounces of our dark Kona pea berry, which is going to be at the store is $56 for 7 ounces. Pea berry is easily 150 bucks a pound, and Jessica just got it for $4. Do I have help? I do have help. Yes, thank God. Even packing these packages is too much. So, all right. So that didn't quite go for enough. So we're gonna have to move on to something else. Um, how about we do one of these larger bags, 12-ounce bags of our dark Hawaiian. So we're going back to our Hawaiian grade coffee, which is sort of it's our least dense bean. So it's sort of the hidden gem of Kona coffee because you can get it for relatively cheap. But this is the coffee. These beans are still grown in Kona, tastes like Kona coffee, but we have to label it 100% Hawaiian coffee because it's smaller beans, but it tastes 90% as good as Kona coffee here. This is a 12-ounce bag. The dark roast has a flavor profile of like a dark chocolate caramel, a chocolate pastry. It's got that sweet toasted flavor. And I just put a 12-ounce bag. Dollars start here. This is a full 12-ounce bag. We get off each tree. You get about 5 to 20 pounds of raw coffee, and it takes 20 pounds of raw coffee to make 1 pound of finished coffee. That's why this coffee is more expensive, but that's also why it's so sweet. All of our coffee is hand picked. In a pound of coffee pan picker is $10 to $15. There's a $35 bag here. We're only picking the overripe coffee, so it's like letting a banana turn brown or an apple turn brown, and the amount of sugar that builds up in the fruit is just way way greater, and so all the bitterness is gone, all the sourness is gone because it's like letting a banana turn brown. You just left with just pure sugar and fragrance, and that's what's going on with our coffee. So when you try this coffee, it's guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion because all of those tannins have been reacted away and converted into more sugars. TJK lover, you gotta, I don't even know, I can't even express what you got. Can't even express it. So no more of those dollar auctions. But if you guys want a 12-ounce bag of the medium, our coffee, we pick the coffee from September to January. So the harvest is in the fall, and then we have fresh coffee. It's a whole new world. Switch the L's and the R's. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. I have mental Tourette's. All right, guys. Raff out round. Medium Hawaiian. No one wants the Hawaiian coffee anymore. You guys only want to buy the expensive coffee. I don't understand. I'm gonna drop the medium Hawaiian to 23. One bag in the medium for 23, guys. And the medium Hawaiian tastes like a chocolate covered raisinette. Very sweet. Leaves your mouth. Your bank hates me. Your bank hates me. He's just taking it out on you. And let's do some of these samplers. These are my Hawaiian dark samplers. The dark coffee is the one I suggest you start with if you've never tried our coffee before. The dark roast, is tastes like the coffee that you guys are drinking. Just the caramel, sweet, toasted caramel, dark chocolate toasted caramel. Has that richness of coffee that you guys probably expect. So when you drink the dark coffee, it's what you expect coffee to taste like, but just way sweeter, way smoother, no bitterness, no sourness. This is the actual dark coffee you guys are bidding on. So if you look at this coffee, look at these coffee beans. They're actually really good really nice beans on their own. Big beans. You're not getting all these little shards. Often when you buy coffee in the store, you get these little shards and cracks. And this is Slizzo's drinking Rooster Farms. I appreciate Trader BA. He got us a lot of people to check out our coffee. And so this coffee, the reason why this is Hawaiian coffee is beans like this. All right. See how it's not kind of all weird like a raisin? This is why it's a Hawaiian grade and not a Kona grade coffee, right? Little weird beans, misshapen beans. Here's a triangle, a pyramid bean. Right, this is a deformity. GGG. 999. GGG. So that is our dark Hawaiian. We got a light Hawaiian as well. The light Hawaiian is the darkest roast that you can get where you still get that trigonylene buzz. And I've been touting trigonylene for a long time now, so you guys know what it is. So if you want that buzz in coffee, probably twice as strong as your dark roast, NAD booster, the the first one you should try is this Hawaiian Light. This one tastes like a tea. Um, and I would say the light Hawaiian is the sweetest out of all the Hawaiian coffees we have. I mean, out of all the light roasts, it's actually the sweetest. We do have a light pea berry, but I think our light Hawaiian is the sweetest. I do have some 3 pounds of our estate Kona. I got some chocolate. If you guys want some chocolate, I got some chocolate. Got 3 pounds of my estate Kona. Where is it here? There we go. 3 pounds of estate Kona. I'm gonna give you guys 3 pounds for 110 when you die. I just gotta hang on long enough so my daughter doesn't go through the shit I went through. I love the medium pea berry. All right, 3 pounds Kona Dark Estate for 110 bucks. That's less than 40 bucks a pound. I'm not running these at dollar starts, but I will run some dark Hawaiian. If you guys want a dark Hawaiian, here it is. I'm also gonna do 3 pounds of my Hawaiian coffee if I can find it. My little daughter, I gotta go to gymnastics this morning. Some Kona coffee's bitter. People say, some people tell me your coffee is gonna be bitter. I expect it to be bitter, and I'm like, why? Why do you think it's bitter? They're like, Kona coffee's bitter. I think it's. I wonder when they say Kona coffee is bitter, if they mean those hippie, old hippie farmers, the old hippie men farmers. They're bitter. And when you meet a bitter person and you drink their coffee, then the coffee tastes like the person, and so you walk away thinking Kona coffee is bitter. Some of those guys, they are bitter. They're not happy. Kona coffee is not easy. And so you can definitely leave here feeling very bitter, and your customers can sense that, and they drink your bitterness, and they leave your farm feeling bitter themselves. All right, guys, we're gonna do 3 pounds of our light Hawaiian here. 3 pounds. You guys ready? 3 pounds, $1 start. 3 pounds of our light Hawaiian. This is four 12-ounce bags is what 3 pounds comes out to. And this one, the sweetest of all our light roasts. This will make you 3 pounds. You guys should know how much 3 pounds is, right? 3 pounds is a lot. And if you came to Hawaii and try to buy this coffee, you're gonna be paying 25 to 40 bucks a pound. So if you're paying, you should be paying. If you have any respect for this coffee, you should be paying 25 bucks a pound for it. But I know you guys have zero respect for this coffee, so you guys are probably gonna try to pay less than that. And so I'm only gonna run one of these. This is the deal of the day. Uh, deal of the day. I'm only gonna run one. I can't run too many of these. You guys are getting used to paying prices that's like my cost. Look, Flap Calif wants to pay 54 bucks. At 62, we're starting to get to a place where I actually made a few dollars. And that's all you guys care about. You just want to make sure I made a few dollars. Like, all right, that's enough. If he makes like $5, it's more like it's more than that. You guys gave me about 10 bucks there, so I do appreciate you supporting the farm. It's after all the costs, so definitely help me out there. And what are we doing next? That was fun. You guys got it to 62. Still kind of low, but you know what? These days in this economy, in this economy, you got to take whatever you can get. How about a bag of the white extra fancy? Someone said something about a white. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. Here's an 8-ounce bag of our extra fancy white, and this one is the monster drink in a cup. It is the highest grade of the coffee that we have. Will make your muscles feel good. So don't miss out. At extra fancy. I'm thinking of going back to the communists because you guys are paying 17 bucks for a bag of coffee these days. I'm thinking about going back to the communists and leaving you guys for a while so you guys can finish all the coffee you bought from me. And then after I'm done selling coffee to the communists, I'll come back to you guys. That's my communism coffee. The communists on TikTok. I need to go. I think I'm gonna go there. I do. But you guys are paying 17 bucks for coffee. I need to let you guys finish some of your coffee. I guess go over to the communists, try to sell them some coffee. You guys are tired. I can tell you guys are, even though you love the coffee, you don't love it enough. You're starting to wander. You're starting to think about other coffees and thinking you want to try some other coffees, which I totally get. So I think what I got to do is I got to leave, try to sell some coffee to the communists, and then and then come back. I started out on TikTok, and then I came here because the communists locked me down. They didn't like it. They didn't like I was using AI. I was using AI, and they didn't like it. And then they didn't like what I had to say about the Prince of Dubai because they're owned by Abu Dhabi. So, and I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't stay focused. And then they kicked me off. But now they want me back. And so they gave me back. They said, I'll give you all of your rights back. This is communism. And you went from bad to good. Communism is worse than democracy. So you gotta stay on their good side. Otherwise they'll vote you and put you in communist prison. And then you gotta be good and then they let you out. And then now you're out and now they're bad. These are all whole bean coffees. So whole bean. This one is the deal of the day, which is you're getting 100% Kona coffee, the estate grade, which is the state inspected, state certified to be Kona coffee, and then it has less than 1% defects. They're all the perfect beans. These are some of the beans you guys are getting here, actually. So all these beans are, you know, clean. There's no defects in them. They're all just perfectly formed, picked ripe. And that's what makes our coffee unique is how we pick it. We only pick the coffee that's overripe and ready to fall off the trees. It's all from one farm. That's right. It's all come from a single farm, it's a uniform farming practice. It combines the top four grades of coffee, combines prime, number one, fancy, and extra fancy. So it has the top four grades of coffee, and all of them are less than 1% defect. So it's just the densest of all our beans. The medium roast, really good for an espresso. It's fruity, it's lighter. I only drink my coffee. I don't drink other people's coffee. Salmon, thanks. I can. Our extra fancy is our highest grade, the biggest beans that we have. And run these a little bit faster. These are our extra fancy darks. You can see they're just the biggest ones that we have. Highest grade of our coffee. If you want 3 pounds of this, I could do it for 150. 666 in Chinese means highly skilled. Here it means it's the number of the beast. GGG. But you guys know about GGG, right? Three G's. One G is G. Two G's is the plural of G, which is G's. And three G's is the plural of G's, which is Jeezes. It's Jesus. He's skilled. Jesus is skilled. If you take all of the numerology throughout the entire world, they actually all line up. So I think they all came from the same place, which is Caesar Augustus. All right, guys, 3 pounds of our medium estate. 3 pounds for 100. This is I'm not doing $1 starts because I know you're gonna kill me on it. So if you want 3 pounds of the medium estate, I'm dropping it to 100. I'm desperate. They're everywhere. Or maybe somebody named Caesar Augustus, the greatest emperor. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. Here I go again. All right, what are we doing next? We have an extra fancy medium. I think someone set the whole thing up right in the beginning. He started, he figured out keep us busy for 2,000 years trying to figure it out. 6 ounce extra fancy medium here. If you tried the extra fancy dark, you should definitely try the extra fancy medium. Extra fancy medium is extremely sweet, fruity, gonna give you just this rich kind of buttery flavor on your tongue. Super sweet. 888 Helen 888 Law Car 75057. So, and professional coffee critics have said our extra fancy medium is the best one for an espresso. You make approximately 12 double shots of espresso. 12 double shots of espresso. Plates and receipts. Thumbs up. Iron Sword's giving me my thumbs up for the day. I said something. He's giving Flap Caliph the thumbs up. He's like, stop talking about that. Arr, you scurvy scum. You scurvy scum. I haven't heard that one in a long time. You scurvy scum. You scurvy scum. Buy some coffee, you scurvy scum. Do I have a shop on Big Island? I don't have. I have a farm on the Big Island. We have a few stores that carry our coffee, but I don't have a shop myself. I don't think I have the capacity to keep a store. It's a lot of work to keep a store. You gotta be really organized, clean. You gotta talk to people all the time. I could talk to people now. I used to not be able to talk to people. People don't buy anything if you don't talk to them. You gotta talk to them. I don't shaka that much anymore. I used to shaka a lot. I used to be way friendlier. Now I don't really talk to anybody. Cannabis is medicinal here, but practically legal. I mean, you can. I kissed the Blarney Stone. If you have a medical license, which is easy to get, you can grow up to seven. I think it's up to 12 plants or something. And in practice, it's practically legal. If you go to the beach, you can buy weed. I tried to sell legal weed. You know, when CBD weed came out, I was going to the beach and trying to sling my legal weed as illegal weed, and there were so many people, other people selling weed that like I couldn't get a foothold. It was like I had so much competition. I was like, I'm just gonna focus on selling coffee because there's more people selling weed, per dollar of weed. The competition was like 10 times higher in weed. So I was like, I'm just gonna focus on selling coffee because I can't. People are asking me for people are asking me for samples. I was like, what? Trying to get free samples from me. I'm just gonna sell coffee. We were infusing CBD into the coffee, and then I don't know. We stopped doing that. You have to get it. You have to get a Hawaii license if you come here. So you have to go visit the doctor, or you just can go to the beach. But that's illegal. I didn't say that, Lockhart. You said it. Hey, you know what? as we're talking about weed, I have exactly $420 in sales. All right, what are we doing now? What are we doing? The sales have been slow. I don't know exactly what's going on. Let's do 3 pounds of Hawaiian dark. $1 start, guys. 3 pounds of the dark Hawaiian. 3 full pounds of our dark Hawaiian, roasted to 450 degrees. This is it here, but you're getting 3 full pounds of it in bulk. That's four 12-ounce bags. This will keep you going for a month, maybe more. And you can throw this in the freezer. This coffee was just roasted last night, so super fresh. You can throw it in the freezer. It'll stay good for up to a year in the freezer, but you probably want to drink it as quickly as possible. Now remember, the coffee you guys are buying in the store, it wasn't in the freezer, and they're leaving it at room temperature for a year. So this was roasted literally yesterday. And this is a $40 a pound coffee. You guys are get paying $40 for 1 pound of it. I hope you guys know it when you see a deal and grab it. This is going to be my only 3 pound bag of the dark Hawaiian today. So if you need a 3 pound bag, grab it. Don't let it go for 44, guys. At least get it to 60. But yeah, Hawaiian coffee, 80-90% as good as Kona coffee. Tastes just like Kona coffee, guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. And congratulations on that grab. That'll keep you good for a while. Man, it's been like pulling teeth lately. It's been like pulling teeth lately. You guys don't want to buy anything. You guys don't want to buy anything. Is the economy? Oh, there's Timoteo. See you later, Law Car. Thanks for coming by. Buy a ton of coffee. What's the J months? So this is 8 factorial ounces of Kona coffee. That's 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. Now I'm making math jokes. Yeah, summers are gonna be slow. I just got so used to just rocking it every day that now I'm just so hopefully you guys drink. I gotta go back to communism. This freedom's too much for me. I gotta go back. Go back to so here's a bag of medium peaberry, 8 ounce. Flap Caliph. You didn't even buy you didn't have to do that, Flap. I now I feel bad. Flap Caliph gave me 2 bags of coffee. He's probably given me more coffee than I've given him. So medium peaberry. Don't feel bad for me, guys. You're giving me some juju, bad juju, good juju. When I After the Hawaiians got to know me, they were like, I don't want to be involved with that bad juju. So some people think I have bad juju, which is probably true. Yeah. So I make up for the bad juju with the good juju. The good juju. Here's some peaberry. This is some of our medium peaberry here that you guys are getting. So I'm getting like glass bottles, and I'm oh crock it. You guys didn't have to do that. You guys are taking my bad juju and making it into good juju. Here's some peaberry. Save your tips for coffee. Peaberry comes in individual bags. I gotta get more smaller bags. These bags are overkill. I got no jokes today, guys. No jokes. It's not funny. There's no jokes. That's what people used to tell me when I would tell you guys my stories. They'd be like, "It's not funny." They tell me it's not funny. It's not. It's not. These aren't stories you're supposed to tell people. It's not funny. People need to be anonymous. They need to have their new lives. I think a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have new identities, and it's hard for us to imagine needing a new identity. But that's why there's so many secrets, because there's so many people who got abused and they need new identities, but they also need to be, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of bad stuff in the world. I just hope Juju's. One of my neighbor's kids' name is Juju. I don't know why that's funny, but it kind of cracks me up. All right, we got some dark Hawaiian coffee. All this coffee actually is good juju. It's hippie picked coffee. People are paid well, and being that they're paid well, they put their good juju into the beans when they pick it. They're only picking the overripe coffee, and you feel the juju when you drink this coffee. It's only good juju, and so bad juju gives you stomach aches. It makes you poo, but we only have good juju here. My white coffee stories. Who is here? Somebody is here. Let me check. So we only. Oh, yeah. So when you drink coffee picked by people who get $1 per 100 pounds of coffee, you're getting bad juju. You're getting very bad juju. Whereas when you drink, I've been too exhausted to give any tasting, so I've just been canceling them. And I need to go. I gotta go hang out with my daughter all day again. I'm just taking every moment I can. I think it's easy to get absorbed by work and trying to make that extra dollar because you justify it by saying, I'm doing this for my kids. But then you miss their most crucial moments. And so I'm just trying to spend more time with my daughter. Even though before, because I miss her, before I was spending like 12 hours a day with her, and now I'm only spending like 6, which is still a lot, but I got used to spending 12 hours a day with her. So now I'm hooked. And so when I don't spend like a full 4 or 5 hours, I feel really far. I feel like I lost my bearings. Forget our true life. I think that's the part that really got to me about, all these communists trying to get into my life, trying to tear it apart was if once you lose your family, if you're like me and you got married really early, I feel like once you lose your family, then you're just thrown into a world of socialists, or you got to go to church. But it's like you're just cut off from your roots, and I feel like they tried to do that to me. I was fighting it. The socialists, and a lot of socialists are just do-gooders. They're just trying to help, but it really got me. You know, doesn't want I don't want to be engaged with the people in this world anymore because there's just so many socialists who are just out trying to do good, and they just tear your family apart because they want to do good so badly. But then once you lose that family, then now you're just a speck of dust floating around in society. And where are you going to go? Your parents are dead. You lost your family. You're floating around. Maybe you'll meet someone, but maybe they're a socialist. Maybe they're a potential socialist and they don't even know it. No one has contacted them about their massages. Anyone's a potential socialist. And so now you're just a speck of dust floating around, a speck of dust floating around. You either find your group of socialists, you find your orgy group, or you go to church. I don't want to do either. So I hung on. They do. The socialists in NASA, they got spaceships. They're socialists. They're all socialists. It's when I think about it, it's scarier in concept, right? Because when you actually find your socialist group, maybe they're all on drugs, but you're on drugs too, and now you're having an orgy, and years pass, and you're all. I do have the best spaceships, and all the rest of the spaceships are upset that I have the spaceships. They're upset. And so that's why I'm here selling you coffee. The rest of the socialists, I'm just mad that I'm not the number one socialist. Like the other socialists didn't accept me as their totalitarian leader. That's the only reason why I'm complaining. The French Lodge, they did. The French Lodge, they accepted atheists and women, and from there they became communists. That's all it took. I I didn't want to. I just it's just who I am. I'm just joking around, guys. But the French Lodge, guys, you got to look into the French Lodge because they did a lot. Communism. You guys know, like, the communist flag, the Soviet Union's flag is Arm and Hammer, right? Arm and Hammer. And Arm and Hammer was one of the earliest sponsors of the Soviet Union. And out of gratefulness to that corporation, the Soviet Union made their logo Arm and Hammer, an arm and a hammer, which are also working tools of French Freemasonry. So the Soviet Union was actually set up by French Freemasons. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't know if you guys knew that. But don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone about what the French Freemasons did. They're going to get mad. It's a secret. Keep it under wraps. It's a secret. French Freemasons. Gotta keep it under wraps. Keep it a secret. Like 15, like 20, 15, a long time. So long, it's all a blur. Maybe I'm still working for them. I don't know. I don't know. I think I've never stopped. I'm actually doing this for the team. I'm doing it for the team. We got some giveaways. You're making a pot of Hawaiian coffee. Doing it for the team, Flap Caliph. Did you know in Russian the word for America is SSIA? It's CWA. In Russian, the word for America is this, or the acronym for America is, although it's actually this W that looks like an I, so they actually call us the CWA. So I wonder, are we really a part of Russia? I just don't know. And the W is shaped like an I. So in Russia, they call us the CIA. That's what they call America in Russia. What you have in dark roast. So we got an extra fancy dark, which is the highest grade of our coffee, biggest beans. We also have a pea berry dark, which is the densest, pea berry, which is a sub variety that happens at the tips of the trees. That's kind of a novelty. It's a buttery, kind of fuller, richer bodied coffee. And then we have our Hawaiian, which is your standard daily drinking coffee. I also have the one I would get the best value today would be our dark estate, because you're getting the densest beans. You're only paying 21 bucks for it for 8 ounces. So this one's probably the best one. CSHA, the CWA, and it goes. Shh. That's what the Russians call us. The sh. I forgot what it stands for, but their acronym for the USA is CIA. Kind of weird. 8 ounce dark estate Kona. This Kona coffee was grown secretly by the French Freemasons and transported in sealed cars into the Soviet Union, where it is mailed to you direct. This is communist coffee. Has to be snuck out. You guys don't even know we grow coffee because it's a secret. It's a conspiracy. This coffee, champion wrestling lion. Yeah, I forgot why it's called the CIA. Let me look this up on Google Translate. I used to know so much stuff. Now I don't know anything. I just know what to look up. Let's see. Translate United States to Russian. Could go from United States from English to Russian. LMNOPQRS. There we go. I always forget. Siodinienie Shatchaf. State. State. Soyodinenie State. I think there's pyramids under there. All right, so that's our dark estate. The dark estate's $21 for 8 ounces is actually the best deal you're gonna get today. You're getting 8 ounces of 100% Kona coffee for 40. You're paying 42 bucks a pound, which is you'd have to buy 3 pounds of that to get that price. So I would get this dark estate. I think there's a lot of countries under the ground that we don't know about, or we don't want to know about. We don't want to talk about them because we're narcissists. So we have to be the only species of human. Yeah. And like, the Antarctica people, when we went and invaded Antarctica, it was like when we went, when we invaded Japan because Japan was inferior to us, we could let them into the world. But when we tried to invade Antarctica in 1850, the Antarcticans were like, "You're not invading us because we are far more advanced than you." So we were like, "There's no one there. We didn't meet anyone. They didn't beat us because they don't exist." And we're gonna turn around and we're gonna just talk about how Antarctica is off limits. People don't live there; it's too cold. I think flat Earth was the first conspiracy to keep the Germanic people in Europe, and they didn't want the Germanic people to leave Europe, so they made this conspiracy about flat Earth. They convinced the Germans that if you sail too far, you're gonna fall off the edge. So they just kept themselves isolated. Once in a while, they'd do a crusades, but that's as far as they would go because they were afraid of falling off the flat Earth. And that's how the Romans kept the Germanic people under control. Otherwise, they would have eventually, once they found out the Earth wasn't flat, they overran the entire planet, and here we are today. Here we are today. All right, I'm not selling any coffee again. I don't know what's going on. These last few days have been dead. These days have been dead. You guys are dead. People are selling it on eBay. I did drink some white coffee. Hasn't been affecting me the same way. I don't know what it is. I'm just not strong. I have seen The Truman Show. For a while, I thought I was when I was at the peak of my schizophrenia, I thought I was like the star of my own Truman Show. I thought everything I thought I was being watched by every device in my home, and they were just but go through the samples, enjoy the coffee, take your time. Don't feel rushed to buy more. I'm gonna be okay, guys. I've survived on zero income. I actually can live on avocados. I don't even really need running water. So you guys don't need to worry about me. I'm used to I'm used to being in the middle of this Pacific. I got plenty of vegetables to eat. I can survive on bananas. The only problem with living on bananas is there's a lot of magnesium in bananas, and once I all I did was eat bananas for 3 days and I pulled a muscle really bad because I had so much magnesium, and I fell over. For the whole day I couldn't move because I ate too many bananas. So that's one of the hazards of living. I think TikTok has that because you watch TikTok, you know, they start recommending hair gel for you if your hairline's thinning. If they think you're not getting enough magnesium, now they're telling you to buy magnesium, and they're looking at your wrinkles on your skin, and now they're recommending wrinkle cream. It's like crazy the amount of stuff that I bought off TikTok. You're smart. I think it's better that people are watching. They're keeping me safe and listening. They're keeping me safe. They know I'm not up to anything bad. So the more people who are listening and watching me, the safer I feel. You guys, should I put a listing donations for spaceships? I really am making spaceships, but I don't know. I only made spaceships because I don't want to work. I'm getting tired of packing coffee, so I'm trying to sell spaceships. Trying to get on the government dole. Trying to get a contract. Trying to get it, but government contracts don't even pay that well. So after looking at my options, looking at whether to do a government contract or to just try to sell coffee, I decided it's probably better just to sell coffee. So, no easy way. They're not paying me my reward. They're not paying me. I do feel the government. I asked ChatGPT, if I paid $10 billion to the US Treasury, where does that put me in terms of taxpayers? And said, you're probably one of the top 10 taxpayers in the world, in history of the world. You want some cacao nibs? Let's do some cacao nibs before I start rambling more about how the government owes me billions and billions of dollars. So, you know, all these technologies that they're funding, it's not going to help us. AI is not going to save us. AI is not going to cause beef prices to go down. So, the only thing that's going to do that is spaceships, because we can get an asteroid with one asteroid is worth $40 trillion. So we can take that, we can pay off the national debt, and then we're good again. But until then, there's no hope. I did not grow up on rooster farms. I grew up in New Jersey, and I'm not at the office. I don't know exactly what you can do, big head fish. Um, because it's USPS. It was pretty good move, but I do miss New Jersey. New Jersey's a good place. Northern New Jersey, actually a really good place. My mom still lives there. It is cold, but I miss the snow. I like the snow. The snow is nice. Bloomfield, my wife used to live there. I mean, not my wife, my sister. I got confused. My wife, my sister, same thing. My sister used to live in Bloomfield. You don't like that. My wife is not my sister, guys. Sometimes I'll call my wife my mom. It's just been that long. Like my mom, I mean my wife. You call your wife your mom too. Just running through my items here. 2 ounce extra fancy medium. I think I can tell I'm starting to lose my steam. How long have I been on today? I've been on for almost 2 hours. It does get clogged, flap caliph, but I still grind it fine, and I just let it get clogged, and I kind of mix it up. I stir it up a little bit to let it go through. Here's some of our medium estate as a 2 ounce sampler. The dark Hawaiian is bold but not bitter. That's correct. Should not All of our coffee should not give you any acid reflux or indigestion. Yep, no acid. That's the best part about this coffee is it doesn't give you acid reflux. And that's because of how ripe we pick the coffee. We're only picking the coffee overripe. We wait for the coffee to become deep red, purple, or brown. Islander Guam. I don't understand. Maybe send me another message with the with your mailing address, and I'll also double check where I've been mailing you stuff because obviously we're sending it to the wrong place. The what we're selling right now is a you got all our different coffees, nuptials. This is 2 ounce estate medium, and this will give you this one is the one on sale right now. And it's on sale because it was roasted a week ago, and that's I roasted too much. Here's a dark pea berry for you guys to bid on. 2 ounce dark pea berry here. The dark pea berry is the rarest of all our coffees, right? It only happens at the tips. It's when one of the beans takes over the entire fruit, so it's a denser bean, different shape and different flavor profile. People say it's more complex, so it roasts differently because it's denser, it's smaller, and so the outside roasts more, the inside roasts less. So you get kind of this smoother overall flavor profile than your typical coffees. And people do charge $56 for 7 ounces of this. So it's there's a little lizard. We got one bag of our extra fancy white coffee. This coffee is roasted so light that it's still somewhat raw, and this will give you. And the extra fancy is the highest grade of our coffee, the biggest beans and the cleanest beans. So we roast our biggest beans to the lightest roast, and that gives you that trigonylene, which is the buzz producing compound in coffee. Also, really good for pain, all that stuff. Almost like a monster drink in a cup. Um, so this one usually don't find a roast this light because most coffee this light is kind of too acidic, whereas this one doesn't have any acidity. Kind of just going through my items. We got a 4 ounce cacao nibs here. These are my chocolate, raw chocolate. All right, Islander. Yeah, I know you also have some that were coming off Whatnot, and I did add an extra 8 ounce white to your Whatnot order. I hope. Please let me know if you got it. Otherwise, I will make up for whatever is missing. All right, we got 6 ounce medium, extra fancy here. This is a 6 ounce bag of the extra fancy. Biggest beans, buttery beans. I do have the chocolate covered mac nuts flap calf, but they're expensive. They're $20. It's fully packaged here. Just waiting for this one. If you want it, I gotta run these at $20. But they are really 7 ounces, 6.7 ounces for $20. But they're very it's a very high quality chocolate. Still $20. So I don't know. If I can make these myself, it would be less, but right now I can't. So it's a full retail packaging. Retail packaging makes it expensive. That wasn't a very. I'm not doing a great job selling that. Telling you guys it's expensive. Not doing a great job today. Did the pea berry? Did the cacao nibs? Let's do another cacao nibs at $1 start. You're missing a Katura. All right. Send me an email. I don't know what's up with my staff. Constantly missing things. It's weird. Aaron, send me an email and I will make sure I get that. Just send me your email address and mailing address and I'll make sure you get that. I don't understand why I keep missing one thing here, one thing there. Nothing I can do about it though. All right, guys, here is 3 pounds for 75 bucks. It keeps happening though. It keeps happening. Shelled ones are really hard to open. I was hoping to probably actually nuptial. I think they are. Will I be back on later? Potentially. Potentially we'll be back on later. Here's a dark. People who are high are very bad at packing. So I try not to hire people who get high. They're very bad at packing. Very hard to pack because these are complicated orders. So it's actually really hard. I have a lot of sympathy for them though. Sorry about that, Aaron. All right. I'm gonna do one 3 pounder of the dark guys, dark Hawaiian 3 pound. Oh no, this is dark estate. Shit. Kona, 100% Kona coffee. This is a 3 pound of the dark estate. I screwed up. $1 start. Oh, this is This is the 100% Kona coffee, and I screwed up. This is 3 pounds of it. Hopefully, of the Kona estate, which is, you know, 65 bucks a pound before discounts. So this isn't the Hawaiian. This is the Kona. Kona coffee beans, stayed inspected. No defects in here. This was roasted about a week ago, less just about 7 days now, and this will get to you in less than a week. This is a full 3 pound bag of our dark estate coffee, and this is for 70 bucks. Whew. All right, you got that for what they were paying for dark. I thought that was a dark Hawaiian, so got that for 70 bucks. Congratulations. I was there with you 420. And it was too hard to smoke enough weed to get high, so I started eating it. And I started eating the weed about 17 years ago, and I was eating a quarter ounce of weed every single day. And I feel like that's why I didn't really age for a while. Weed's actually very good for that. But then I quit because I couldn't get anything done. I used to say I'd be able to function, but I couldn't get anything done. I was it felt like I was like swinging from tree to tree. Anytime I'd start a task, I've had a lot of trouble finishing it, and I want to do a lot of things. I used to read a lot when I was high though. Let's do one more of these, guys. One more. Oh, yeah. One more. I screwed up. It says this is at full price. This is our 100% Kona Dark Estate. Here's a Kona Dark Estate, guys. One more of these. 100% Kona coffee. 3 pounds of it. Doing some of these larger bags today. 3 pounds, guys. Don't I hope you guys know the value of 3 pounds of Kona coffee. It's not like you can just go around and get this for these prices. So hopefully you guys know the value. Definitely worth more than 20 bucks a pound, guys. Um, but yeah, here's 3 pounds of it. Definitely worth more than 21 bucks a pound. Way more than that. You guys, 21 bucks a pound. All right. That's it, guys. I'm just spinning my wheels here with you guys. All right. So, what do we have? What else do we have going on here? All right, one more 3 pounds of our light medium. I'm gonna 3 pounds of light medium roast here. 3 pound bags. These are bigger bulk bags. Take these and enjoy them for a while. The light Hawaiian is so all this coffee guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. The light Hawaiian is maybe the sweetest of all our light roasts, I think. So I really like the light Hawaiian even more than our like we have a light pea berry, which is okay, but the light Hawaiian is really sweet. So and this gives you four 12-ounce bags here. This should be like 60 bucks minimum. You guys are getting it for 30. These are all I'm like spinning my wheels here, but it's all right. We'll move a few bulk bags of these. 43 bucks. That's pretty cheap. All right. I feel like my brain is the thing that has been aging. All right, guys. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back later. So, nah, I don't toke up during the day anymore. I'm not allowed. It's better too, because I like to be present with my daughter, so I don't smoke during the day. I don't even. I've been trying to. I quit for like 2 years, but then I had a small relapse, and I've been smoking at night here and there. But I'm quitting again. I like to be sober with my daughter. When I'm far, I want to like read, but I'm far more social. So, all right, guys. Yep, and I do. The first year my daughter was alive, I was high every day, and I it blew by. And then the last 2 years, I haven't been high almost at all. And then it's been the longest 2 years of my life, but it's been nice hanging out with her, so I like that.